Hey team, okay, we're back in Unit 4, and today we're going to dive into Lesson 6. So Lesson 6 is multiplying still that one-digit number by a 2, 3, or 4-digit factor. And we're going to concentrate today on both the pictorial, so what we did yesterday with the place value blocks, and also moving kids into the area model. So it's sort of like a 2 or 3 step problem today. We're going to dive into that. So here we go. I'll flip over to the problem of the day and we'll get started. Remember, story problem, we've got these do not pass go expectations. I'm going to model for you every single time. You're going to model for kids every single time. And again, this will be the place where I give the bulk of my feedback. We have to build student habits here. So regardless of today's strategy, if the story problem top quality habits are not in place, that's where you're going to get the bulk of the feedback, which means like we may keep kids from getting exit ticket mastery if we're not nailing these scholar habits. All right, here we go. There are 4 chapters in Amber's book. Each chapter has 325 pages in it. How many pages are in Amber's book? That's my first read. There are 4 chapters. I know that that is my number of groups in Amber's book. Each chapter has 325 pages. That's my amount in each group. Big question, how many pages are in Amber's book? And now I've annotated and begun to jot. All right, so let me just really quickly do a KU chart. It's pretty effective with story problems. I know that there are 4 groups. There are 325 in each group, and I'm trying to find total pages in the book. Awesome. Now that I'm crystal clear on what I'm looking for to find, let me just make sure I'm clear on what my task is. I really have one task: find total pages. Okay, great. So now let's move on to the representation. I know that this is a multiplication equation, so I'm going to use a pretty consistent strategy to help me out, and it's really just number of groups times amount in each group gives me my total or product. Let's see if I have any information to help me out. Do I have my number of groups? Yes, 4. Do I have my amount in each group? Yes, 325. So I'm solving for my total. Okay, so this is quick hit from yesterday. You guys went over this, introduced it to kids, and you saw it in yesterday's video. We're going to do a place value array. I have 4 groups. Remember, now I'm concentrating on the multiplication. And I know that I have 325 in each group. You see how this is emerging? This sort of like, I'm using expanded notation, if you will. I'm breaking down the place values, and I'm getting much faster at it. So let's represent to help us out. 1, 2, 3. That's one group. 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or 100, 200, 300, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Either kids can count the total amount or they can count 1. Or up, actually, because the answer total is there already. Okay, so then remember, we're concentrating on the multiplication. My multiplication problem is 4 groups of 300. My multiplication problem is 4 groups of 20. 4 groups of 5. My base problem, 4 times 3 is 12, 2 powers of 10. My base problem, 4 times 2 is 8, 1 power of 10. My base problem, 4 times 5 is 20. And now remember to add my partial products. You don't want to forget that step. So we add our partial products together, and we get 1,280 plus 20. And now I'm at, look at that. They trick us today, and actually we're going to have to now think about changing place values. So if I were to give 110, let's go ahead and do that and move that down to a 10. This would be 1,290. If I were to give this last 10 This is now 1,300. So you just want to make sure that even though the focus of today's lesson is actually going to be around the area model, that kids are clear that they have to pay attention to their math, because there's actually some place value funny business that happens in today's problem of the day. Okay, so when you round up and clean this up for kiddos, this is what you've got. Make sense? Awesome. Then what you're going to do is relate this to the area model. That's actually our focus for today. So you would say something like, guys, remember how we had our total number of groups? Yeah, that stays the same. But this is pretty clear that we've got 3 place values that we're working with: the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. So let's actually start to do a quick area model with the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. And so that starts to look like this. And so I've got 3 hundreds, 20 tens, or 3 hundreds, 2 tens, and 5 ones. Instead of using my place value blocks to write this all out, I'm pretty good with my base factors and my powers of 10. So I can do 4 groups of 300 and get 1,200. I can get 4 groups of 20 and get 80. I can get 4 groups of 5 and get 20. And so you see how that works? And then the kids would still need to combine their partial products just like we did above. So 1,200 plus 80 plus 20, and I would still need to go through this process to end up with the 1,300. And that's how we get to our partial, use our partial products and use the basic area model. So here's another little trick that I want to name for you. You guys are used to doing multiplication this way. You remember we had 4 times 325. So you would do 325 times 4. I just want to clarify for you what this actually means in today's world of Common Core. I'm still doing 4 times 5, and I get 20 in the ones place. You see that? But remember this power of 10. If I do 4 times 2, I get 8. But I've moved over 1 power of 10. So I have to show that power of 10. If I do 4 times 3, see how that's working? I get 12. But I have to move over 2 powers of 10. 1 power of 10, 2 powers of 10. Then, if I were to add my partial products, 0, 0, 0, 0, 8, 9, 10, carry my 1, 3, 1. So that's actually how we relate both the area model to what we would call maybe the standard algorithm of multiplication. All right, so it gets pretty intense today, and kids are going to go into workshop, and they're actually going to be asked to do both. They're going to be asked to do the place value array, which they had practice with yesterday. They're going to be asked to do a simple area model, which is 1 digit, right? 1 by multi-digit across the top. And then they're going to be asked to add their partial products. You'll see that kids have a variety of things. They'll have just the plain 1 by 3-digit equation. They'll have some that are embedded in story problems, so they'll need to pull out what the task is. And then you'll also see that kids go up to, in workshop, 4 digits. Remember how the standard is up to 4 digits? So they go up to 1 by 4 digit. And so remember, up till now, they've really only practiced 3 digits, so 1s and 10s and 100s, but they'll also need to be prepared for a thousands place. Okay, so one of the things that I want to just prepare you for is in the student independent practice, question 3 has the kids that they need to do like an error analysis or explain why a child made a mistake. And so if they're crystal clear on what they're doing, if they're crystal clear on this is 4 groups of 6,000, and I know every time I write 4 times 6, 0, 0, 0, base factor power of 10, they're going to be able to find this student's mistake. So remember, the more you hold the line on actually doing top quality student work, the better the kids are going to be able to explain or find errors in other people's work. In addition to that, I do want to name that kids are going to see the area model broken up here with partial products in a different way. And so we did this a day of practice, but in this particular model, the partial product is broken up both up and side by side. So it's actually not a 1-digit by 4-digit problem. So just as an FYI for you, it's fine if you have kids skip past number 5 today, because it's not the focus or the core focus of the lesson. All right, other than that, kids dive right in, and they should find success today with both partial products and area model using a 1-digit multiplier by a 2, 3, or 4-digit factor. All right.